Assalamu alaikum. This is my lab 3 for the course Networks and System Administration, and in this lab we have to use Wireshark and get familiar with some networking commands and also run our own DNS and then upload a video on YouTube. So for the first part we have to run Wireshark. So this version is minimal, that's why I downloaded the genome. After downloading the genome, you have to just use this command startx, and after using the startx, it shifts you from the minimal version to the live version where you can have the GUI. So as we can see in this one, we have the GUI. Let me first check whether the internet is working, just to check whether, because we need to trace packets using Wireshark. So before checking the command line, I'm just checking whether there is a internet connection. Okay, seems like there is an internet connection. Okay, yeah, we have an internet connection. I'll keep this open only so that we can trace some packets. So okay, let's open the terminal, and to start Wireshark we just write Wireshark over here, and that's it. Now it takes some time for Wireshark to start. Until it starts, we can check out the stuff. So basically what we are supposed to do is, this part is done. I have already downloaded Wireshark. Running Wireshark, it will start. Yeah, Wireshark started already. So after starting it, what are we supposed to do? Okay, click on capture icons and sudo device that captures all interfaces. It will start capturing traffic and stuff. If it doesn't show any traffic, open the browser and start accessing some websites. So let's check. So let's check the interface list first. Here's the interface. So this is the port which I am using. So this is my IP address. So let's start. Okay, so let's check whether we have packets or not over here. Yeah, we have many packets right now. Yeah, let me open some websites so that we get around some more packets. Okay, so I think it's already enough of the packets, because the question says stop if you have captured few hundred packets. So I think we have already done that. Let me check the Wireshark. Yeah, so there are already many packets over here. And okay, so let's see what the question asks us to do. Take a look at the kind of traffic. So when we are using Wireshark on that machine, it gives us the traffic use going in and out for that machine and stuff. So right now we can see the TCP protocol and other protocols which we are using. So after that, the ping messages or stuff, ICMP protocol. After that, what are we supposed to do? If you aren't seeing any traffic, open a browser. No, we are. Then use Wireshark to capture just DNS packets on port 53. So port 53. So okay, we can, if we just enter the what happened? just enter DNS over here, it will just display the current DNS packets, but the question says us to go to capture options and make a filter. Okay, so let's do that. Go to capture. Okay, let me stop it first. Taking options and make a filter port 53. Okay, capture filter. Okay, port 53 is for the DNS. So after that we can actually start tracing packets again, and the question asks us to go to this website www.cs.vu.nl. so let's browse this site, cs.vu.nl, cs.vu.nl. Okay. Let's start. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's check this website. Okay, so the website is open. It's University Amsterdam. So this is the website. Now let me close the website and let me check Wireshark. So on Wireshark, let me stop it. Okay, because the filter was DNS, so these are the DNS, all the DNS packets over here. So to do that, put port 53. Okay, so we saw all the DNS requests and responses. You will likely see a number of quadruple A queries. What are those? So these A, this one over here, this one over here, this one over here, they are used, I searched about it, they are used to convert a host or a network's IP address or their host name to map it to IPv6. Okay, so A is for converting the host name or IP address of a network to IPv6. So that's why there are so many AAs. So basically this was the first part, Wireshark. We downloaded the GNOME version of CentOS, and in that we could easily run it. We traced the packets, got some packets, and also the requirement of the question for this website. We saw this AAA and also came to know it maps the host name or of the network or host to IPv6. So let's check what is left. So the first part is complete. I have finished until here, Wireshark. So moving to the second part, let me close Wireshark. Okay, so in the second part we have to use the tool dig. Okay, so for example, dig, I have already downloaded the package which was needed, bind utils. I already downloaded it. So let's check dig.google.com. Okay, this gives us the query time, the time to live for the packet, the server, and the message size received and other stuff for google.com. Let's check for some other site, yahoo.com. Okay, we get the server, the message size, the query time, the time to live from yahoo.com. So this is what we use dig for. So the question says use dig to resolve SOA information for IBM. Show different TTLs. So here you can see there were different TTLs for Yahoo and different TTLs, time to live for the packets for Google. So that's that. Now it has asked us to do it for IBM.com. So let's do it for ibm.com. My bad. ibm.com. So here we can see the query time, the time to live, and the server address and the message size. And it asks us to check the SOA. SOA is actually the structure of the architecture or architectural style. So we can see this. This is the architectural style. Okay, so that's that. It's different because the TTLs are different because it depends which server, how far the server is, and how much time the packet should remain alive, stuff like that. So that's this. That use dig host and ns lookup might not be installed. Use some. I have already installed it. So this is the second part finished. So we are done with the first two parts. Now is the third part. Configure and run name bind the domain name server on the domain name server. Bind is likely not installed. I already installed bind, I guess, with rpm-q bind. So to check, you have to just do rpm-q bind. Okay. So here bind, the version is already installed. So if bind is already installed and the service is currently, we first need to stop it first. Use the following command to stop and uninstall name to start at boot and start chroot version. So first of all, let's follow the commands. It says systemctl. Okay, then stop name. So name is stopped. Then it's disabling name. Disable name. Okay, so basically we'll use the chroot environment because it's quite secure than normally using name. So systemctl start name chroot. Let me I skipped one thing. In the second part we were supposed to do the dig for ium.edu.my, so I forgot to do that. Let's check dig for ium.edu.my. So here we get it quite fast. Okay, we get the server, the message size, the time to live, the query time, and everything. Okay, so that was that. Now let's check where we are now. We are familiar with dig. Now we are on the third part, configure and run name bind. So let's use these commands. There was some error. So that was the first part of the video until here, the dig command. So then in the second part of the video I will configure and run name.bind and the domain name server, and then I'll upload both the parts on YouTube. So thank you. For the third part, there is no need to use the genome version, the live version, and the live version is slower, so I am using the minimal for this part of the question. So as you can see, these commands which we were supposed to use to stop the named, disable, start the named, and then enable name chroot. So we have started it already. Name chroot. So it says it has been created and the targets have been created. So we disable named, and chroot is environment which is more secure. That's why we use this. So that's the first part. If you prefer using GUI, but we already did these using the command line, so we don't need to check this stuff. So let's go to the fourth one. So the last part, the fourth part. Okay, now name should be running. Use dig to get SOA records for IAM, specifying local host as the result. This request goes through the server you just started, and you can tell even now that the server is a caching server in it. Okay, let's check. Dig localhost www.ium.edu.my. Okay. I am not getting any reply. Okay, now I got it. So it says two servers found, got answer header query 1 and query time and server and stuff like this. Okay, let me check what my IP address is. So IP DDR. It was IP DDR. So okay. The IP address I am using right now is this one 10.0.2.15. Okay, so that's okay. Let's follow the steps. So right now the question says you can tell even now the server is a caching server. So right after you, now we will add our own domain as an authoritative zone that this name server will manage for us. You should make up any non-existent domain like these examples. Within that domain, you will be creating a zone file that maps this to your local IP address. You might get a reference. So this is an example of a zone file which we will be following. So for here we go. For increased system security, we are running named in chroot. All files for named are found there. The zone files are located in over there. You should see a number of files over there, including forward lookups of localhost, one of all roots named name.ca. We need to add two more files, one for forward lookups and the other one of our IP address into that new domain, reverse lookup of our IP address. So let's go to this directory. Let me minimize this. Okay, let's go to this directory. The directory is cd variables name, and inside name then there is chroot, and then there is variable again, and then there is name. Okay, so here we are. Let's check what is over here. Here we already have name.loopback, name.localhost and name.other files, some other files. Okay, you should see a number of files there, yes, including name.localhost over here, name.ca over here. Okay, and one reverse. So we have to add two files here. Using the name.localhost as an example, create a new file, perhaps called mynet.zone. Edit that file. When complete, your revised file should have at least 3 entries. 2 A records, one pointing to IP address, current IP address, one pointing to this IP address, and the third should be a CNAME. Remember that whenever you make a change to zone file, you need to increase the serial number, which is 0 in the default name localhost file. So we need to increase the serial number. Okay, so we'll make two files, one for forward, one for reverse. Okay, let me call it to make the files. Let me just copy all the files because it says it should be like this file name.localhost. So what I'll do is I will copy all the content of name.localhost into two new files. That will be better. Okay, so the command I'll cpp from name.localhost. Let me say the name of my file is mynet.saj.zone. Okay, so everything will be copied there. And for the reverse one, we use the loopback. So we have name.loopback, and let's let me make it mynet.saj mynet.saj.zone. reverse dot zone, and the first one, let me make it forward dot zone. Let me remove this one now. Dot zone. Okay, so now if we check the files are already there. The minet saj.for.zone for forward and minet saj.reverse.zone for the reverse. So after that, the question says we have to edit the zone files, and we need to, there should be these three things in the zone file. So let's check the zone file format, and while we are checking the zone file format, we can also use the editor vi minet dot search dot for dot zone. Okay, so here's the editor. Okay, so it says in SOA. Okay, this stuff is the same in SOA. Okay, so there is no @ sign over here, so I should remove this @ sign. Okay, and I think this one should be the same as minet dot saj. Then we can use dot root dot minet dot saj. I think this is the way it should be written. This is the format. Okay, so this should start with this, like here it's nsa1example.com, then hostmaster.example.com. so mine is minet.saj, then root.minet.saj. These things, are we supposed to edit it here? Because I remember it was written that we have to, okay, you need to increase the serial number, which is 0 in the case. Remember that whenever you make a change in a zone file, you need to make, so these right now we didn't make any change, so we are writing them for the first time. Okay, so now we already have one address. To our one address is already for 127.0.1, which we were told in the question to keep one address for this, two A records, one to my current IP address. So let me make one more A record. Okay, right now we are not using IPv6, so I can delete this. So that's why I deleted this. Let me make one more AP record. My IP address right now is 10.0.2.15, and it says CNAME, yeah, CNAME to www.ium.edu.my. Okay, so is that all what we are supposed to do? These three should have this. Remember that whenever you make a change, okay, so this was the part, it should have these three entries, so we did these three. For NS, I think I am supposed to keep the same thing, ns1.example.com. Okay, for NS I think we just need to keep the local. Okay, in the CNAME also there's a dot after this. Okay, and for NS I think the host name dot the name server should be the host name dot your mainnet dot saj. Following this syntax, I think that's all we are supposed to do. So that's it. Let me escape, let me copy it. So it's written. Let's see this file now. Let me clear the screen first. Let's see this file. I think that's alright. Now for the reverse one, right? Okay, so after finishing the zone files, it says we cannot test it yet. We still need to edit the etc name.config to include entries for your new files. In addition, in order for the changes to be used by the name server, you will need to make it reread the files. I suggest restarting it using the script in this as you would restart any other service. You also want at some point to create the reverse zone file of your IP address. Let's first go here. So now we are supposed to edit let's go to cd or let's just edit the file vi cd slash what's the name of the file, name.config. Okay, so we have to actually include that file in it. Where did I open the right file? Name.config or etc, right? Oh my god. Clear the screen. Okay, so vi slash etc slash name dot config. Okay, why is it giving me a new file? Let me check again. Okay, so the file was name.conf. I was writing name.config, name.conf. So this is the file. So here we need to add the zone entries for the files, for the zone files which we created. So we'll be doing that. We'll just okay. So I tried to figure this stuff out, and I found some ways on the internet. So I already edited my file, so I'll just go to the file and show what I have edited. So we have the name dot conf file, right? So let me show you guys what I edited. So if we go down, as you remember, I made this file mainnet.saj forward.zone. So this is the file I had to add an access over here. So just that's it. If you add the access and exit, okay, so after that you need to go to this file etc and select the first name server as your local host. What is the first name of the file? Is resolve.config. Okay, keep the first name server as your local host, and also in this one you have to make few more changes. Here you have to keep your local your IP address as one of the listen on port for the DNS on, and here allow query should be any. So these were the changes which we made. Okay, so after that, if we are able to dig the things which we made like mynet.saj, then it's working. So let's just use it, dig mynet.saj. Yeah, we can dig, we are getting all the data over here, and let's just try to dig ium.edu, which was the cname dot my. So here we go, ium.edu.my. Here we get all the details, the server details and the query time and everything. So that's all. That's how we set our own DNS server. Basically, we created the files in cd var cd var name, then chroot, then I guess var again, and here you can see this is a file mynet.saj.for.zone, and before this I showed you how we got the name, the domain name, and how we use the dig on it. Because let's check this file, mynet.saj.for.zone, and here we have it, mynet.saj, and these were the three things which we had in. And when we go out of here, just dig this file mynet.saj, over here this file, we get all the details. So that's all. Thanks a lot for watching.